If joint pain is supposed to be something that happens only to older people, then why has it been spreading like a plague in the past years among people in their 40s, 30s, and even 20s? The real reason might anger you, but you deserve to know the truth. Top scientists at the Hamburg University Medical Center have used a state-of-the-art microscope to look deep into the joints of their patients. They discovered that the agonizing bone-on-bone pain that 98.9% of sufferers are experiencing is caused by tiny calcium shards that chop and tear the cushioning between the joints with every move you make. What is even more disturbing is that these microscopic shards are caused by a so-called superfood that most doctors recommend to their patients suffering from joint aches. In fact, chances are that you've already consumed it once or even twice today, just like most Americans have. However, the good news is that people who have removed this one food from their diet are now completely pain-free. In this video, you will discover what this one food is and what you can do right now to destroy these microscopic shards for good, so you can once again enjoy that feeling of total control and relief when you walk, run, or do simple chores around the house. You will be shocked by just how quickly and easily you can restore your flexibility and mobility, and you'll never have to wake up in the morning with stiff joints and pain in your knees, fingers, or spine. You'll finally be able to play with your grandkids and take long walks without fearing that the crippling pain might strike at any moment. Hi, my name is Jim Truitt, and in this short video, I'm going to reveal a shockingly effective 5-second calcium scrub that can rapidly put an end to even the worst joint pain. Something that was first pioneered by a brilliant but unassuming doctor in Omaha. A root cause solution that can rapidly and permanently erase the constant pain and stiffness that's been holding you hostage, freeing you from the relentless throbbing, the burning soreness, and bone-deep ache that leaves you feeling like you're 100 years old. If you follow the one easy method I lay out in this video, I promise you, when your alarm goes off, you'll spring out of bed with a smile, no longer dreading that first excruciating minute when your feet hit the floor. No more having to pause awkwardly on the stairs with every step, grimacing in pain as your knees creak and pop. You'll never again need to sit on the sidelines watching with heartache as your kids or grandkids run and play without you, or have to force a smile as you pretend everything is fine while waves of stabbing joint pain shoot through your body if you move the wrong way. The sheer agony of trying to find a comfortable sleeping position will become a distant memory. No more tossing and turning all night as searing pain jolts you awake every time you roll over. Instead, you'll finally get restful, uninterrupted sleep night after night and wake up feeling refreshed and ready to seize the day without joint discomfort holding you back. That's because this breakthrough goes right to the root of your relentless joint pain, stiffness, and immobility. Something your doctor has likely never mentioned. Even though clinical studies funded by the National Institutes of Health, performed at the Boston University School of Medicine, and leading institutions in Europe have all confirmed that there really is a single, shocking culprit behind virtually all your joint issues. I'll share everything you need to know about this in just a moment. Even better, I'll also share how a simple 5-second calcium scrub can undo years of damage, not just alleviating the pain you experience today, but also structurally transforming your joints, cartilage, and tissue so that the pain and discomfort never returns and your free, easygoing movement is never taken away again. What I'm about to share has nothing to do with painful injections, risky surgery, or painkillers with a long list of harmful side effects. Instead, it's so much simpler and safer. My wife Beverly and I experienced its healing power firsthand. After a humiliating incident almost put our newborn grandson's life in danger and revealed how just crippled her joints had become. This same 5-second calcium scrub has now been used by 85,000 men and women of all ages to rapidly and permanently erase their joint pain. People who had become prisoners in their own bodies, unable to enjoy life because of their worsening joint issues, who now say their joint problems are a thing of the past. Like Laura from Seattle.
Honestly, I had given up on finding relief from my joints. I had tried every medication, exercise, and specialist I could find. Nothing seemed to help. Then I stumbled upon your video and I gave it a try. Best decision I ever made. I now sleep much better, and wake up without the pain and stiffness I was so used to. It feels like I regained a part of my life I thought I would never experience again. I couldn't be more grateful.
Or Tom in Des Moines.
I've struggled with my joints for years. Tried it all. Medications, injections, countless doctor visits. Nothing worked, and I started to lose hope. But after watching your video and trying a calcium scrub, that's all changed. I no longer dread getting out of bed in the morning. Instead, I'm back to yard work, even playing golf. And honestly, most days I forget I ever had joint issues at all.
And Robert in Orlando.
I was skeptical, and the only reason I watched your video and tried the technique you talked about is because I was so desperate. So imagine my surprise when this really worked. It's like I've got brand new joints. I'm getting a great night's sleep, and that's helping me think more clearly and be less irritable at work. What's even better is how this totally fixed my mobility issues. That's a huge relief to me, and my wife is just as thankful as I am.
Now, it's your turn to join these former joint pain prisoners. People who had been suffering day and night as life became barely livable, who now say their joint problems have vanished entirely. So let's get started. Like I mentioned a moment ago, my name is Jim Truitt. My wife, Beverly, is 60 years young, and we live in a quiet town outside of Omaha, Nebraska. We both love to be outside, taking walks and working in our garden together. I also enjoy golf, and Beverly loves to play tennis. However, about 4 years ago, she began to experience joint pain. It started as the occasional ache in her knees while climbing stairs and tender wrists and shoulders after gardening. At first, we dismissed it as just another part of getting older. But soon, Beverly began to awake each morning feeling as though she'd climbed Mount Everest. Just getting out of bed and walking to the bathroom became an agonizing chore. She would spend the first hour of the day working to regain the mobility she had the day before. Her hands grew stiff, and she couldn't open a pickle jar. Her swollen ankles left her barely able to walk some days, and her back pain became so severe she dreaded certain movements. Desperate, we tried everything to help Beverly find relief. Ibuprofen helped a little, but it also upset her stomach. Hot baths and massages felt great in the moment, but provided no lasting relief. Well, she tried painful steroid injections, expensive physical therapy, and acupuncture, but nothing offered any lasting improvement. Meanwhile, her joint pain continued to get worse. It was destroying her quality of life. Her favorite hobby of gardening was no longer fun, and the stiffness in her hands made it nearly impossible anyway. She was unable to play with our grandkids. Sometimes, even simple chores brought her to tears. The relentless throbbing kept her awake at night, leaving Beverly exhausted the next day. She felt like a burden on me and our family. It was heartbreaking to see my once active and vibrant wife barely surviving, her movement and freedom restricted through no fault of her own. And then came the final straw, a humiliating and terrifying incident with our newborn grandson. Fortunately, this incident also came with a silver lining because it led us to the 5-second calcium scrub that changed everything, giving Beverly a new lease on life and helping her move like she was 20 years younger. This same secret has now helped over 85,000 men and women, and I know it will work wonders for you too. So, let me tell you what happened. Well, it was a day we had been anticipating for months. The birth of our second grandchild. Well, I remember driving from our quiet country home to the big city hospital in Omaha. Beverly was excited, but also very nervous. I noticed her anxiously rubbing her hands and wrists. My sweet wife was about to cradle our newborn grandson for the very first time, and she was determined to soak up every second of this special moment. Well, as we walked into the hospital room, Beverly flinched as the familiar throbbing in her knees and stiffness in her back arrived like an unwanted party guest. But like a trooper, she pushed through the pain and kept her focus on the joy ahead. And then it happened. Our daughter had just carefully nestled the tiny baby into Beverly's arms when I saw a flash of pain shoot across her face. She gritted her teeth and bit her lip to keep from crying out. But the pain was so overwhelming, Beverly lost her grip and dropped the precious infant. As my daughter gasped in fear, I lurched forward and grabbed the fragile child before he tumbled headfirst to the concrete floor. Just then, our son-in-law blurted out, "Oh my God, she dropped the baby." I know he didn't mean to hurt Beverly's feelings. It was an involuntary outburst as he saw his tiny son falling towards the ground. The room went silent, all eyes locked on my wife. And while my entire body tingled with shock, with adrenaline, like I had just dodged a deadly car crash, I knew that Beverly was even in worse shape than me. Her face flushed red as she lowered her head and blinked away the tears of humiliation. In the span of 1 second, our day of celebration came to a screeching halt. And what made it even worse? Our son-in-law was live streaming the whole event for family and friends, which meant dozens of people had seen this terrifying and humiliating moment in real time. Our trembling daughter quickly scooped the newborn from my arms and did her best to act as if nothing had happened. But the damage was done. Beverly's vulnerability had been broadcast for all to see. Her humiliation was on full display. I could tell she felt like a faded version of the woman she once was. My wife had always been the rock of our family, but now she seemed feeble and frail. And if you had told me that in just a few short weeks, we would discover a shockingly effective 5-second calcium scrub that would completely free my wife from the chokehold of constant pain, I would have said you were nuts. But that's exactly what happened. So, please let me explain. You see, it was a few weeks after the birth of my grandson. Beverly came home one day with a huge smile on her face. She was bursting with excitement. She told me that she had run into an old friend, Pam, while out running errands. Well, I drew a blank, so Beverly jogged my memory. Remember Pam? The one who walked with a hunch and had to turn her whole body to look in different direction? Then Beverly showed me a picture she took of Pam in the parking lot. Well, I couldn't believe it was the same person. Pam was standing tall and straight with a beaming smile I didn't recall seeing even once in the years before. Beverly said Pam moved with an ease that was shocking when compared to the hobbled woman we used to know. She said Pam had told her about the constant pain that had plagued her for years was now a distant memory. What in the world happened? I asked. I was expecting Beverly to mention some new drug, perhaps a risky and expensive surgery, or even a miraculous healing, like Beverly prayed for in vain each night. Instead, her friend Pam told her about a doctor and medical researcher named Dr. Michael Ackerman. He specializes in treating joint issues without drugs or surgery. The way her friend Pam described it, he performed nothing less than a miracle. Beverly could hardly contain her excitement, and I was excited too, but also very skeptical. Beverly had suffered for so long, I didn't want her to be disappointed yet again. But with her knees and wrists and neck throbbing day and night, I knew we had nothing to lose. Beverly insisted we had to see if he could help her. So the next day, I picked up the phone and nervously dialed Dr. Ackerman's number. He answered right away, which surprised us both. And when we mentioned Pam's name and explained our situation, he began speaking with a passion that was infectious. He said he was certain he could help my wife regain her mobility, and that it was possible, in fact, quite likely, she could live the rest of her years without the incredible burden of pain and discomfort. Dr. Ackerman suggested we meet in person the following week. And since we lived only an hour away from his clinic, we agreed without hesitation. When the day of our appointment arrived, I was hopeful but guarded. The walls of Dr. Ackerman's office were lined with medical certificates and awards. And while the good doctor was even older than Beverly and I, he glided through the office with no signs of pain or restriction. He immediately put me at ease with his warm demeanor and gave Beverly his full attention. After some friendly small talk, going over her symptoms and reviewing Beverly's charts, Dr. Ackerman leaned back casually in his chair. Then he asked us a question that neither of us had expected. So, what do you guys really know about calcium? Beverly and I glanced at each other and then back at the doctor. Well, I explained I've always heard calcium is beneficial. Let's see, it makes teeth and bones strong, and I think it helps your nerves and muscles. Exactly right, Dr. Ackerman confirmed. Calcium in your bones is very helpful and important, but it has no business being in many other areas of your body, he said. Then he told me something really surprising. The same calcium that strengthens your bones can wreak havoc on your joints. Dr. Ackerman explained that when calcium invades the joints, it crystallizes into countless tiny microscopic shards that encrust your smooth and supple joint tissues, turning them into a sharp and jagged surface that you experience as agonizing joint pain. To illustrate his point, Dr. Ackerman opened a file on his desk and pulled out a printed copy of a major study from Boston University. The study was published in Arthritis Rheumatology and funded by the National Institutes of Health. In this study, the researchers examined more than 4,000 knee joints. What they found is that when these tiny microscopic calcium shards are present, the likelihood of experienced frequent knee pain was 96%, while the likelihood of constant knee pain was 83%. That means that almost all people experiencing knee pain have these calcium shards in their joints. And these shards act like a rough sandpaper, wearing out your joints in record time and triggering constant pain. Now, if you're like me and Beverly, this stuff about calcium shards is probably a bit surprising, especially because you've probably never even heard about these shards being a cause of your joint pain. And you're probably wondering why, if this study Dr. Ackerman shared with us is legit, your doctor has never mentioned these calcium shards in your joints before. Well, that's what we asked Dr. Ackerman too, and he explained that it's because until very recently, almost all doctors believed calcium shards in joint tissue were very rare, and that they are only found in the worst cases of joint pain and severe arthritis. But this study from Boston University School of Medicine and several more just like it now prove that these shards aren't rare at all. Then Dr. Ackerman pulled up an image from the same file and laid it on his desk in front of Beverly and me. He explained that this was a specialized X-ray image of a knee joint, and to most people, it would appear to be a perfectly healthy looking knee. There were no obvious breaks or dislocation and plenty of cushion between the bones. But here's what they missed, Dr. Ackerman said. Do you see those faint white clouds between the two bones? He told us those white spots are actually thousands of tiny calcium shards, sharper than razor blades, and each one was less than 1 micron in size. That's 8 times smaller than a single red blood cell. And yet, despite their microscopic size, these jagged shards are highly destructive and could be the leading cause of joint pain in the population. That's because they can encrust your joints like an abrasive plaster, turning even the simplest tasks like hauling groceries, climbing stairs, or pulling weeds into agonizing misery, making your mornings unbearable as you hobble to the bathroom, hunched over, just trying to ease the backache. And because they're so small, they used to be virtually undetectable. But thanks to new highly sensitive medical imaging like X-ray powder diffraction and digital contrast radiography, we can now see details about these crippling calcium shards we could never see before. And according to Dr. Ackerman, these technologies now prove that joint-destroying calcium shards are shockingly common. To drive the point home, he told us about a study performed by German researchers at the Hamburg University Medical Center and published in the Journal of Orthopedic Research. Their examination of 180 human shoulders revealed crippling calcium shards in 98.9% of samples. This led the researchers to state that these compounds are highly prevalent in the general population. And he showed us another study performed at the Royal Infirmary of London, where they found calcium shards in 92% of joints studied. While in yet another paper published in the Annals of Rheumatic Disease, researchers saw these fiery foes in 100% of the subjects studied. So you see, said Dr. Ackerman, destructive calcium shards in joints are anything but rare. Then Dr. Ackerman asked Beverly if she had heard the term bone on bone, a description of what happens when the cartilage in your joints has worn away and the bones grind together. He explained that crystallized joints can be even worse. Just imagine bone on bone with tiny shards of glass in between. The result is an agonizing existence where every movement becomes painful. Well, of course, you might wonder what's causing these calcium shards to latch onto your joints in the first place. Well, that's what Beverly and I wanted to know too. Dr. Ackerman said that while there are a lot of culprits, one of the biggest is something you'd probably never expect. The high fructose corn syrup that's inside staggering 60% of the foods we buy at the supermarket. Of course, this ingredient is in most sweetened drinks, candies, jellies, and desserts. But it is also added into many types of bread, tortillas, crackers, cereal, peanut butter, and even foods like smoked salmon, soups, and deli meats. Barbecue sauce, ketchup, marinades, and salad dressings all have it. Juices and alcohol mixers too. They even add it to naturally sugar-filled products like honey. Dr. Ackerman said that while most of us already know high fructose corn syrup is just an unhealthier version of pure sugar, and that eating it is strongly linked to things like diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, what most people do not understand is this ultra-common sweetener can also be destroying your joints and causing your pain and suffering. And the reason why, Dr. Ackerman explained to us, is because within minutes of consuming foods and drinks that have high fructose corn syrup, our body breaks this substance down into compounds called purines. And these purines have been proven in thousands of studies to cause a buildup of microscopic calcium shards in your joints. In fact, what I just described is basically the textbook definition of gout, a condition where calcium shards latch onto your joints and cause them to become painful and swollen. But here's the thing. Dr. Ackerman told us what all this new research from Boston University and the University of Hamburg has now proven is that you don't need to be diagnosed with gout for your joints to become covered in razor-sharp calcium shards, because as you just saw, these shards are actually present in a staggering 98.9% of cases of joint pain in men and women. Dr. Ackerman said that this explains why, when you look at indigenous people of tribes across the world, joint pain hardly exists, because for those tribes, high fructose corn syrup doesn't exist in their diets either. Take the Warao people of Venezuela, for example. They have some of the lowest levels of arthritis and joint pain of any population on Earth, at only 0.5% of the population. And sure enough, they eat zero high fructose corn syrup, which means their joints never become covered in these pain-inducing calcium shards. And that's why nothing that Beverly's ever tried has actually brought her relief. Dr. Ackerman concluded, a sad look on his eyes, because everyone in mainstream medicine, from doctors to the big drug companies, have been totally ignoring this, and it's led to the horrific but completely unnecessary suffering for tens of millions of Americans just like your wife. Beverly and I were stunned. It was hard to believe that something as simple as a common sweetener could affect your joints this way. We were grateful that Dr. Ackerman had explained the problem so thoroughly and shared the undeniable evidence and studies. He clearly showed us how the purines from fructose corn syrup hardened the calcium, the one mineral that should feed your bones, but instead turned it into thousands of sharp calcium shards. Now that we finally understood the cause of Beverly's pain and suffering, we were both anxious to hear what we could do about these calcium shards, or to hopefully get a chance to try the same solution that he'd apparently given to Beverly's friend Pam. Dr. Ackerman pointed out that it's good to know why this has happened, but it's not enough to simply avoid corn syrup and added sugars. The calcium shards in your joints must be dissolved and eliminated to fix the problem and find relief. Thankfully, he'd been working on something to do just that, and the results he has seen are nothing short of remarkable, because his patients not only experienced significantly less joint pain, but also restored flexibility and freedom of movement. And they have a lot more energy too, because they're finally able to sleep soundly through the night. Then, to our shock, Dr. Ackerman told us that what he developed came down to a proprietary blend of natural extracts and compounds proven in multiple clinical studies to prevent breakdown calcium shards, which have encased your joints, while preventing new ones from forming. The result is a comprehensive solution that he calls his 5-second calcium scrub, because each ingredient is proven in multiple studies to dissolve the agonizing shards that are causing you pain and prevent them from invading your joints ever again. The solution addresses the root cause of your pain and immobility, turning old, encrusted joints that creak and pop and grind back into youthful, smooth-functioning connections that glide, pivot, and rotate with the ease of a well-oiled machine. And with that, the good doctor began to tell us about the ingredients. First, Dr. Ackerman told us the formula contains a unique vitamin complex called MK7. He explained that in certain parts of Japan, the locals consume an unusual fermented soybean dish called natto, which has been a dietary staple for generations. This dish is extremely rich in MK7, and the Japanese who consume it daily are living vitally into their 80s, 90s, and beyond, with some of the lowest rates of joint pain in the world. Dr. Ackerman explained that MK7 is starting to gain recognition in the United States. And it's no wonder, as he pulled up a study on his computer from the Journal of Medicinal Food, showing that when researchers tested MK7 on people with painful, stiff joints, it was like watching an ice cube melt in the hot sun. Those awful calcium shards began to rapidly dissolve. Those who took MK7 saw joint calcium deposits decrease by up to 47%. And within just 4 weeks, their joint function had improved dramatically. MK7 is like a power washer for your joints, Dr. Ackerman said, and this powerful compound not only helps dissolve the jagged shards that already exist, it also prevents them from forming in the first place. To bolster his claim, Dr. Ackerman pulled up another study and pointed to a sentence on the first page which read that MK7 helps to produce the most powerful, naturally occurring inhibitor of calcification in the human body. He also mentioned a study published in the journal Cellular and Molecular Life Sciences, which detailed how MK7 increased levels of a key calcium shards blocker called osteocalcin by 26%. This is a critical factor in preventing calcium shards from forming in the joints, leading to both improved mobility and reduced pain. And according to Dr. Ackerman, the MK7 in his formula is different from what you might find in most supplements. It's not synthetically produced in some lab. This MK7 is gently extracted from natto using a patented process developed in Japan. The result is a potency much higher than other forms, and the results speak for themselves, including a major clinical trial where patients with severe joint pain took pure MK7 for 3 months and found that the intensity of their joint pain decreased by a staggering 38%. Just imagine your joints transforming from encrusted, inflamed, and bone on bone to fluid, flexible, and cushioned. That's the power of MK7. It's really quite incredible what this one natural ingredient can do, Dr. Ackerman remarked. But we were just getting started, because next, Dr. Ackerman moved on to another extract he wanted to share, a unique substance known as micronized PEA. Dr. Ackerman explained that PEA is no ordinary compound. It was first identified by a Nobel Prize-winning scientist, Levi Maltacini, who saw its tremendous potential in treating chronic pain. It has been used for decades as a powerful pain reliever. But here's what really caught my attention. PEA doesn't just offer temporary relief, it also has an amazing ability to directly address the inflammation caused by the calcium shards encrusting your joints, attacking the true root cause of your discomfort. Dr. Ackerman showed us an analysis published in Clinical Nutrition, where researchers found that PEA provided significant pain relief comparable to NSAID drugs in joint pain, but without the risk of ulcers or kidney damage. And in another study published in the Journal of Rheumatology, PEA was shown to not only reduce pain, but also improve mobility in just 4 weeks. I pictured Beverly smiling again, able to reach for the top shelf or bend down to pet our dog without grimacing in pain. While Dr. Ackerman said that in yet another study, this one featured in the journal Drug Research, PEA reduced inflammation in the joints by 31%. And just when I thought it could not get any better, Dr. Ackerman pointed to still more research published in Phytotherapy proving that PEA can block key receptors responsible for transmitting pain signals, resulting in a whopping 37% drop in joint pain intensity. Imagine that! With the help of just 2 highly pure compounds Dr. Ackerman shared, you could be looking at a significant reduction in your joint pain, helping you to break free from the painful shackles that have kept you from enjoying life. And yet, Dr. Ackerman had identified even more powerful joint-soothing compounds, which make the solution he's pioneered the most effective joint pain reliever on Earth. Ingredients like a highly potent extract called Cell G8, liposomal quercetin, which is derived from sun-ripened citrus. This isn't just any quercetin. This liposomal form bypasses your stomach acid and goes straight into your bloodstream, where it plays a crucial role in calming inflammation, and it's particularly effective against the kind of inflammation caused by those nasty calcium shards. Because in a study published in the Journal of Pharmacy, this form of quercetin significantly decreased signs of acute inflammation in joints. While in another piece of research published in a pharmaceutical design journal, they found quercetin inhibits the damage caused by calcium shards better than the leading medications. And it doesn't stop there. Dr. Ackerman also shared a study from the Inflammopharmacology where this type of quercetin reduced joint pain sensitivity by up to 32%. And those taking it also saw the duration of their painful morning joint stiffness decrease drastically. So just think about all these ingredients working together to free you from the shackles of joint pain. How much would that change your life? Probably a lot. And that's not all, because Dr. Ackerman's formula also included a potent phytochemical hidden in the lush green tea fields of Japan called EGCG. EGCG is short for epigallocatechin gallate. A modern research shows that pure, unfiltered EGCG is a fierce warrior against joint-damaging shards. For example, in a major study published in Frontiers of Pharmacology, when scientists exposed human cartilage cells to the calcium shards which cause gout, an excruciating form of arthritis, the crystallized cells erupted with inflammation like a dormant volcano. But when researchers added EGCG, inflammatory markers quickly plunged by 42%. Then Dr. Ackerman told us that his formula also contains an extract from the Nigella sativa plant known as black cumin seed. This compound has been revered since ancient Egyptian times for its formidable health benefits. And in a study published in the Journal of Inflammopharmacology, it was found to improve arthritis activity scores for joint swelling and pain by 22% and 27% respectively in just 1 month. Can you imagine? From a simple natural seed. Next, he mentioned something I'd never heard of before: hibiscus sabdorifa flower extract, a potent anti-inflammatory substance. This has been proven in multiple studies to be a powerful force against the pain and damage caused by those tiny shards encrusting Beverly's joints, like rust on a door hinge, with studies showing this type of hibiscus can decrease inflammation beyond joint pain by up to 39% compared to a placebo, matching the effectiveness of leading arthritis drugs, but without those nasty side effects. Then finally, Dr. Ackerman said his formula also had a special form of the natural plant compound luteolin. And while powerful alone, luteolin becomes even more potent when combined with PEA already in the formula. In fact, in a study published in Arthritis Research and Therapy, this combination was found to relieve joint pain, reduce inflammatory chemicals, and improve clinical signs of arthritis by over 60% compared to a placebo. Well, I could hardly believe it. All these powerful, natural compounds working together in a single formula. Beverly and I sat there in Dr. Ackerman's office, lost and what felt like a dream we'd been waiting to have for so long. The thought of Beverly regaining her mobility and independence was overwhelming. And all of this from a formula that was unlike anything else we'd seen or heard of before. I envisioned her once again waking up with a smile, ready to embrace the day without joint discomfort holding her back, and no longer isolating herself due to immobility and discomfort. Dr. Ackerman made it clear. With this formula, Beverly could feel like herself again. Of course, despite the convincing science and patient success stories Dr. Ackerman shared, well, we still had our doubts after so many failed remedies. But then he smiled kindly and asked, "Beverly, what do you really have to lose?" He handed her a bottle filled with 30 easy-to-swallow capsules brimming with the potent extracts he described, and instructed her to take one per day, morning and night. Beverly stared at those first capsules, picturing the possibilities, then tipped them into her palm and swallowed effortlessly, tasting a mild, earthy flavor, and after that, all we could do was wait. In the first few days, well, no noticeable change occurred. Her joints remained stiff and painful as usual. But remembering Dr. Ackerman's advice to be patient, well, Beverly persisted. On day 5, she felt a subtle difference in her knees. They weren't as stiff rising from bed, though she shrugged it off as just coincidence. But soon, more changes appeared. After 3 weeks, Beverly could spend a couple of hours with me working in the garden. And while she was tired and her muscles were sore afterwards, her joints did not rebel against her. Tying her shoes became less painful. I was stunned and thrilled by these improvements that she kept sharing each new experience. We began strolling along the neighborhood again, pain-free, chatting and laughing, and as the weeks went by, the constant aches and stiffness she endured for years slowly faded. She was able to play with our grandchildren again and bounced up from chairs without assistance or pain. Best of all, she was finally sleeping through the night, waking refreshed and ready to embrace each day. Friends constantly remarked how healthy she looked, so energetic and lively, and I was amazed by this transformation. Our grandkids were overjoyed to have their playful grandma back. It was like she had been freed from the constant pain that weighed her down for so long and had been born again. She felt decades younger, living life to the fullest once more, all thanks to the power of Dr. Ackerman's 5-second calcium scrub. However, the most remarkable part occurred about 6 months later when we attended our grandson's first birthday party. He was toddling around the living room, his big brown eyes bright with curiosity, clutching a small red ball in his chubby little fingers when he saw Grandma Beverly. His face lit up with pure joy. He eagerly tossed the ball in her direction, a clear invitation to play. Beverly instinctively bent down to scoop up the ball. And to our collective surprise, there was absolutely no wince of pain from her knees, not a hint of stiffness in her back. She moved with the grace of a young woman, her joints gliding smoothly and effortless. Our daughter watched in awe, her eyes wide with surprise and relief. And I overheard her whisper to her husband, "Oh my gosh, look at Mom. She's moving like she did when we were kids." It was a moment of pure, unfiltered joy. Beverly appeared more vibrant and alive than she had been in years, and I was filled with immense pride for the amazing woman I married. I don't think I'll ever forget that incredible sight. After witnessing Beverly's jaw-dropping transformation, thanks to Dr. Ackerman's revolutionary breakthrough, something that was scrubbing away those dagger-like calcium shards from all of her joints day after day, freeing her fully from her former life sentence of pain and agony. We knew we were morally obligated to share the news of this miracle with others. So Beverly eagerly called Dr. Ackerman, the genius behind this discovery, with an urgent request. "Dr. Ackerman, I've been gardening for hours, playing with the grandkids, even carrying heavy groceries in one trip with no joint pain. We must make this available to everyone who is struggling." At first, the doctor seemed a bit conflicted about the idea. He said that while he loved seeing his formula help his individual patients, and while he'd always wanted to find a way to get it to more people, he was a doctor and not a businessman. So he really didn't know the first thing about trying to share the formula he had created nationwide. Well, Beverly and I said we understood, but that we'd be willing to go all in to help make it happen. And finally, Dr. Ackerman agreed, which is when we all teamed up together for one common mission: to bring Dr. Ackerman's 5-second calcium scrubbing formula to as many folks as possible. We meticulously sourced the purest, most potent plant extracts. We found a GMP certified facility right here in the United States of America that could gently encapsulate each powerful ingredient. And then we reached out to fellow joint pain sufferers, from athletes to grandparents, asking them to try it. And the feedback we got back was truly breathtaking.
After years of joint pain, just a few weeks of this formula brought profound relief. I didn't realize how adapted I had become to the pain until I didn't even notice it anymore. You know, I felt I was going to be in pain for the rest of my days, but now I feel like I have a new lease on life.
I have to admit, I was skeptical, but I was also desperate. It used to feel like broken glass in my elbows, wrists, and fingers. Now I hardly notice the discomfort, and I have full range of motion. I never imagined I'd feel this way again.
Joint pain affected my quality of life for years, but this formula is a godsend. Now I can play with my grandkids again, feeling youthful and energetic.
And now we're thrilled to share this very same breakthrough with you. We named it Flexigenics, the world's first and only formula designed to dissolve agonizing calcium shards between your joints, to scrub away the sticky, abrasive deposits that have formed, and to prevent these painful shards from ever invading your joints again. From the moment you start using this potent formula, you'll witness a rapid transforming unfolding, with each step becoming less painful, whether you're ascending stairs or just walking around the block. Your stiff joints will begin to feel smooth and flexible. The discomfort and inflammation that have held you hostage will begin to vanish. It'll be as though your entire world is gradually coming back into vibrant motion, a world that's brimming with possibilities because your crippling joint pain no longer keeps you feeling trapped or alone. Just take one capsule per day with a meal, and that's all it takes to rejuvenate and restore your joints. We use only the purest ingredients in this joint restoring breakthrough, and every single one is tested and certified for purity by independent labs to ensure the utmost quality. This means this breakthrough doesn't contain any toxins like contaminants or harmful metals, and it's crafted with meticulous care in a cutting-edge facility that complies with all FDA guidelines and adheres to good manufacturing processes, GMP. This joint restoring breakthrough is also proudly made in the USA. Honestly, it's no surprise that since we launched it, it's been flying off the shelves. In just a few short months, we've sold well over 23,000 bottles, and that number is growing every day. People all over the country whose lives have been restricted by joint pain finally have a natural solution that works. And they're spreading the word to their friends and family too. But with such high demand, it's only a matter of time before we run out. And since our premium natural ingredients come from all corners of the globe, including the pristine forests of Europe and Asia, restocking will take some time. That's why it's crucial that you secure as much of this joint restoring formula as possible right now. The last thing we want is for you to interrupt your regimen before your joint health has been fully restored. Because in that case, those sharp calcium shards that torment your joints will start to build up again. In fact, from what we've seen and what our customers tell us, the best results are seen when someone uses this joint restoring breakthrough for at least 180 days. This gives you the best chance at pain-free movement while ensuring your joints stay healthy for years to come. Don't let your relentless joint pain win. Secure your supply today and say goodbye to the frustration and limitations of joint discomfort. We've gone to great lengths to ensure that this joint restoring formula is acceptable to every American who needs it. After carefully selecting the best ingredients, negotiating production, and keeping costs low, I'm proud to offer you this game-changing breakthrough at the most affordable price. You'll never have to spend your hard-earned money on another painful injection or risky surgery again. And you could say goodbye to the $1,500 joint injections and the relentless cycle of over-the-counter meds that most doctors want to push on you, even when the results aren't even close to guaranteed. This joint restoring breakthrough is only available on this website and only while supplies last. We never want to mass produce this solution because we know that would simply dilute its effectiveness. We will only make as much as we can personally oversee. So if you see this joint restoring breakthrough anywhere other than this website, be warned that it's not the genuine one. We will never sell on Amazon or eBay because we could never ensure the same level of quality control on such large platforms. This breakthrough can relieve your joint pain now and keep your joints smooth and flexible for years to come. You could say goodbye to the temporary relief from over-the-counter meds that only mask the reality of your aching joints. And instead, you can ensure smooth, pain-free movement day after day. Watch as you no longer wince in pain just to pick something up off the floor or bend down to tie your shoes, and experience the relief that comes from feeling confident when you're gardening, playing golf, or simply going for a walk, or the joy that comes from playing with your grandkids or being able to keep up with them. With this breakthrough, you'll never miss another moment. So just imagine how wonderful it will be to feel like your younger self again and see the surprise and delight in the faces of those you love. Wouldn't that make you feel so much more connected to friends, family, and even strangers? When you invest in this joint restoring breakthrough today, you'll pay less than you would for a single round of painful joint injections, risky surgery, and addictive prescription painkillers. Yet, unlike any of those approaches, this breakthrough formula is what I believe to be the only real chance of restoring your joint health for good. Plus, when you consider the fact that there's only one facility in the world that meets our quality control expectation, that each bottle contains the purest and most potent form of these ingredients on the planet, today's special low price is a steal, if you ask me. Because this is not about making money. This is about restoring the vitality and freedom of not just my beloved wife, but all the other people like you who are tormented and frustrated by the constant joint pain, who worry that if they don't do something soon, they'll end up even more restricted and dependent. That's why I've fought hard to bring you this solution for as little as $1.63 a day to say goodbye to joint pain forever. But this special discounted package is only available today on this webpage and while supplies last. It's the biggest discount we've ever offered, and we're only doing it because we know what a difference this will make in your life. For 6 bottles of this joint restoring breakthrough, you'll invest only $49 per bottle. And this is the right quantity to truly and totally regain your freedom as you scrub away those damaging microscopic calcium shards and ensure that they stay gone forever and your joint pain never returns again. And if you choose your package right now, you will risk absolutely nothing because we want you to be certain that this joint restoring breakthrough is right for you. We offer every single person a 60-day money-back guarantee. That means you have a full 60 days to test drive this joint restoring breakthrough for yourself. I know you'll be thrilled with the results, but if for any reason you're not 100% satisfied with your order, simply contact our friendly support staff, send back all the bottles, including the empty ones, and they'll issue a refund. You know what? If you buy our 6-bottle package and your joint pain is relieved sooner, feel free to send us back the bottles you haven't used and you'll get your money back for every single one of them. Even though, if I were you, I would save them for my friends and family. That is how confident we are that this solution can do wonders. To put it simply, if for any reason you are not thrilled with our solution, you pay nothing. Or if your joint pain is relieved more quickly and you still have some unused bottles left that you don't need anymore, we will give you back the money for them. That's just how I believe business should be done. Either you love our product or you don't pay a dime. What could be simpler than that? And because you're covered by our 60-day no-hassle money-back guarantee, why not take advantage of our 6-month highly discounted package? It really is the smartest option. I mean, you're protected either way. If you love this joint restoring breakthrough, you're locked into our lowest rate of just $49 per bottle, saving more than anybody else. And if this joint restoring formula doesn't work for you, you simply ask for a refund and lose nothing. No matter what happens, you truly only have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So just choose your 6-bottle package or whichever one is right for you from below this video right now. And when you choose the optimum quantity of our joint rejuvenation formula today, I'm going to include 2 bonus books worth $109 absolutely free. So today only, when you invest in a 3 or 6 month supply of this joint restoring breakthrough, you'll also receive a free copy of Fearless Mobility, 10 easy and effective exercises to prevent slips and falls. Did you know that falling down is the #1 cause of older adults losing their independence? It is also one of the leading causes of death, directly and indirectly. And when you have joint pain and poor mobility, your chances of suffering a fall increase dramatically. That's why inside this powerful guide, you'll find simple tips to stay strong and steady for years to come. And here's just a taste of what's included. Find out which one vitamin supplement nearly doubles your risk of falling. Most seniors have no idea this healthy habit is so dangerous. Discover the oil you can rub on your feet for just minutes a day and watch your balance and joint pain improve dramatically. Clinical studies prove it works fast. Learn about the seemingly harmless mistake with your shoes that ruins balance and puts you at high risk of falling. Most people over 50 have no clue. Think treadmills are the best for balance? Think again. You'll discover 3 unusual and fun exercises that work better to improve stability over 50. 7 overlooked medications that destroy balance and coordination. Plus, easy, natural alternatives your doctor won't mention that are safer and more effective. And that's not all. Because when you choose the 3-pack or 6-pack options today, I'll send you a second book free of charge. It's called Complete Body Rejuvenation, Sacred Tibetan Secrets for a Strong and Healthy Life. Inside this book, you will find helpful and easy Tibetan routines and herbs that will keep your mind sharp, improve digestion, and give the energy of a 20-year-old Here's a sneak peek at what you'll find inside. The Tibetan morning ritual that gives you the energy of a teenager. Doing this daily gives you more energy than drinking 2 cups of coffee. The Buddhist monk's trick to improve your digestion. Press these 3 spots to never experience bloating or acid reflux again. The 8 little known Tibetan herbs that will protect you against type 2 diabetes and memory loss. And so much more. Both guides are yours free when you buy the 3-pack or 6-pack, and you'll get access immediately. But both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are only available for a limited time. When we run out of this joint restoring breakthrough, it could take months to manufacture a new batch. So choose the 6-bottle package or any other package below this video right now to secure your order. This is truly one of the smartest and most impactful investments you'll ever make to restore your mobility and reclaim your independence. So given everything you've just been told, I'm sure you must be really excited to try this joint restoring breakthrough for yourself. All you have to do to claim your discount is simply click the button below now to order the 6-month supply or whichever amount makes the most sense to you. After you've selected your package, you'll then be taken to our secure order page where you can fill out your shipping and payment information. We use the same professional grade 256-bit encryption technology as big names like Amazon, eBay, and Walmart, so you can rest assured that your information is safe with us. Once you hit enter, you'll land on our confirmation page, which will carefully explain exactly what you can expect with your order. Now, I must warn you, sometimes we experience temporary out of stocks. Obviously, we do our best to avoid this, but that's just the simple reality of trying to get a product like this joint restoring breakthrough out to so many people, placing big orders all at once. You don't have to worry though, because as long as you're watching this video right now and don't see any out of stock icon popping up anywhere, then we still have bottles of this joint restoring breakthrough left in stock. But I really wanted to make this note for you because I can't say for sure when we might run out of stock next. And I don't ever want you to be in that unfortunate situation where you fall in love with this joint restoring breakthrough only to come back to this page a month later to find it's completely sold out. So that's just one last reason why our 6-month option is our most popular, because not only will you get the full benefit of this joint restoring breakthrough, but you will also have plenty of time to place a follow-up order if you choose to. So go ahead and order the 6-month supply or whatever makes the most sense for you. Now, we're at that point where the decision is in your hands. You've seen the science behind this joint restoring breakthrough and heard the life-changing stories of people just like you who regained their mobility and independence in a matter of days. Me, Beverly, Dr. Ackerman, and over 85,000 highly satisfied customers stand firmly behind this joint restoring breakthrough. And we've done everything in our power to ensure that choosing to order today is one of the simplest, most sensible decisions you'll ever make. You're 100% protected by our 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee, which makes choosing the 6-month supply a no-brainer. Ultimately, the choice is yours to make. Only you can take that first stride towards a radically transformed life. If you're feeling a bit hesitant, then I urge you not to let fear or uncertainty hold you back, because you're 100% safe and protected. And when you really think about it, what's the alternative? I can only imagine the countless failed solutions you've tried that have left you feeling exhausted, frustrated, and hopeless. Believe me, my wife and I have been there. But now, you have something entirely different before you. You could leave this page right now after hearing everything I've shared. But what would change? You'd just find yourself back on that treadmill of disappointments. Another costly round of injections. The discomfort of visiting the doctor and finding out that your joints are deteriorating. Feeling terrified as your independence slips away. Or the constant struggle with everyday tasks. The way it affects your sleep. Your ability to enjoy your hobbies. And the world becoming more and more limiting. You and I both know that's no way to live. That is why I'm now extending my hand to offer a way out. You don't even have to say yes. All you have to do is say maybe. You could be just moments away from feeling like you've regained your youth, a life that's filled with pain-free movement, where you can enjoy every movement to its fullest, and where you live each day feeling empowered, and in control. And all of that and more could be just a click away. And while whatever you decide is entirely up to you, I truly do hope you make the right choice and restore your mobility for good. All you have to do to get started is just choose your package from below right now. And I'll see you on the other side to help you continue your journey. Regardless of your choice, I want to personally thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I wish you all the health and joy in the world. Still here? That's fine. This presentation covered so much information that you might have some questions. So I'll take just a moment to answer a few questions that are usually asked by clients before choosing this supplement. Question 1. How does this joint restoring breakthrough work again? As Dr. Ackerman explains, this breakthrough formula contains compounds that scrub away the buildup of calcium shards that are currently latching onto them. These shards are like thousands of microscopic shard blades, causing the excruciating joint pain and lack of mobility you are experiencing. The powerful compounds in our formula not only eliminate these painful calcium shards, but they also nourish and rejuvenate your joints, restoring their flexibility and mobility, giving you back the freedom of movement you deserve. Question 2. Who should take this joint restoring breakthrough? This joint restoring breakthrough is for anyone who is concerned about their joint health. It can help those who are already experiencing mild or severe joint pain that prevents them from enjoying the freedom of movement they deserve. But it can also help those who feel pain from time to time when they put pressure on their joints. In fact, the earlier you start using this formula, the better, as you will give the compounds the time they need to not only destroy the existing calcium shards, but also prevent further formation of these microscopic blades and create a shield around your joints, protecting them for years to come. Question 3. What happens after I click the button below? Once you select your package below, you'll be directed to our 100% secure checkout page. Just input your payment information and confirm your order. Rest assured, there's no automatic billing or any hidden charges. In 5 to 7 business days, you'll receive this joint restoring breakthrough in a discreet package. You're just a week away from starting your journey to pain-free, flexible joints. Question 4. What if it doesn't work for me? Simple. This joint restoring breakthrough comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. You have a full 60 days to decide if it's right for you. If you're like the thousands of others who have already used this breakthrough formula, you'll be thrilled with your improved mobility. If for any reason you're not, simply reach out to our customer service team and we'll refund your investment. Question 5. How long will this joint restoring breakthrough be available? As the pharmaceutical industry is not too pleased with us, it's uncertain for how much longer this formula will be available. Also, current global supply issues have affected our ability to source ingredients and the lead times to receive them. That's why it's crucial you get this joint restoring breakthrough today. Remember, it comes with a 100% money-back guarantee, making it a risk-free decision. Question 6. All right, I want to try this joint restoring breakthrough. Now what? Well, that's the easy part. Just click one of the buttons below and choose your package. Remember, you can save over 70% by selecting our most popular 6-bottle package. Just fill out your details on the next page to complete your order, and this joint restoring breakthrough will be in your hands within the next 5 to 7 business days. Plus, there's no risk because of our solid money-back guarantee. This presentation is now ending, and I want to thank you for staying with me till the end. Go ahead and choose your package now. Use this joint restoring breakthrough as directed for at least 30 days, then reach out and let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.